Hello, I'm Mark Sumner, host of the Channel Chat podcast show, and this is a special series during this COVID crisis where we'll be sharing the learnings, best practices, and failures and successes of all the channel leaders throughout the tech industry. So sit back, listen, and enjoy. Hello, I'm Mark Sumner, host of the Channel Chat podcast show, and today I have Convergent Director Michael Bain in the virtual studio. How are you doing, Michael?
Hello, yeah, all good here, thank you. Thanks for having me. You well?
No, thanks for coming in, or coming onto the platform. Michael, obviously I came down to your offices a few weeks ago, and I've been speaking to a lot of partners, a lot of channel partners, firms throughout the whole of the channel, from distributions, resellers, vendors, etc. And they're all starting to move back into offices July 6th and July 13th, even if it's sort of like 30 or 40% capacity, and move back into the offices. Now, you guys are doing the audacious thing of doubling your size of your offices. So what was the mad thinking behind you, Jody and Peter, to sort of think, right, we'll increase our office space during COVID?
Yeah, we've had a few people think that actually. And I guess where we're phasing everyone back into the office as of next week, we've had a handful of us in over the last couple of weeks. I think working from home was driving everyone a bit too crazy. So obviously taking all the precautions into consideration, I think our office is now probably safer than most places anyway. But we saw an opportunity to expand. I mean, recruitment's been on a hold for everyone for a little while, but these last 3 months, we've actually had so much more time to think about where we've come so far and where we want to go. And we see we need more people. We need a bigger space. A lot of people thought it was based on spatial planning and making sure people have got more space, but it's actually to accommodate what we see as a flurry of new recruits coming through over the next 6 months. And obviously at the moment, office spaces are empty, and we found an amazing deal in a beautiful location. And actually, we can't wait to move in early August.
Yeah, fantastic. And what date do you actually move in?
The official date is the 3rd of August. So we've got everything underway in terms of development and planning and getting all get it all set out how we like. And with the view that we'll have the full team back and from all resources on the 1st of August, but certainly a phased approach from next week.
Fantastic. And you mentioned there about hiring, and at the moment, you were right. In March and April, a lot of people put hiring on hold. But I've been noticing now in terms of May, companies are coming back and thinking, right, I need to press ahead. Or some companies are coming back and saying they need to press ahead. It's almost like two camps. 50% of them actually, let's stay on hold and see what's going to happen. And 50% thinking, actually, I'll press ahead, etc. Now, you mentioned there about, hiring, and you've been trying to hire for the last sort of year. And yet, at the moment, you've decided to change your plans and you're going to be investing in more sort of graduate type of people or newbies. So tell me about that. What's the thought process behind that? Yeah,
so I guess the last year or two, really, we've been recruiting for, I guess, what everybody was after, sort of that person with a couple of years experience from a reseller that's looking to move, and that's worked to a degree. We've had some successes, we've had some that haven't worked out, but myself, I came through the graduate program many years ago, and that promotes loyalty. You get buy-in, you get people that work harder, and haven't got any bad habits either. And again, over the last couple of months, we've been thinking about it for a while, but I think where the market's going now and all the groundwork we've put in with various new divisions and core offerings, I think we're now geared up perfectly from a management structure and an office premise to now accommodate graduates and have the training and the management program there, and basically promote and guide and shape the future of Convergent through graduates. I think it's a really exciting way of recruiting to complement what we're doing already.
Yeah, and growing your own talent, I think, is the best way of doing it. I'm a big advocate of that. Why do you think, Michael, when you've come from a graduate background and you've worked your way up to a director, known for the business, why do you think resellers out there or companies in general are looking for that perfect candidate, the book of business, etc., it's just going to come in and be perfect? Because nothing's perfect, is it? You can't, these are sort of unicorns half the time. So why don't you think there's more investment in sort of, doing the soft cap model, if you like?
Well, I think people, how competitive our industry is. People want results now. They want it tomorrow. Yeah. They don't want to really look at 2 years' time for a graduate to go through the proper process. So I guess it's short-term thinking in the industry. But there's a lot of successful resellers out there that only recruit grads who have been extremely successful. but you need to have the longer term vision, which I think is what Convergent we're doing now. Like I say, we spent a lot of time on the various divisions getting our offerings right, and now it's a platform for graduates to come in and generate opportunities and create a management structure and create promotional opportunities. But I think you can't just do that overnight. You need to have a real clear understanding of who you are, what you are, and where we see ourselves in the next 3, 5, 7 years. And I think we've now completely outlined that map. And to do that from a longer term perspective, we see graduates as being the future of Convergent from a recruitment. Like I say, to complement what we're doing already, because obviously everyone wants those big hitters and people that are going to move, but they take time, they're expensive, and they don't always work out. So I think while we're looking for the very, very best, as everyone else is, recruiting in our own and generating our own and looking after our future is obviously very important to us.
Yeah, and again, without saying that you, Jody, and Peter are mad doing this, but what's prompted starting this again in COVID? Getting a new office or a big office during COVID, some people think you're crazy, and then investing in a new graduate team and a manager, if, at the same time, some people are going to think you're bonkers. So
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that think
it's a big investment.
There's a lot of people that think that. I mean, there's two ways of looking at it. I'll go right the way back to the beginning of when this all started. There was the survival mode. There was standing still. There was being conservative, and there was being protective of what you've got, and let's just look after that. But what we've learned is we've dealt with that, and we've also seen a huge opportunity now with the offerings we've got available and who we are and where we're located and the services we provide, the customers we've got. A huge opportunity to go to market with these offerings, because that's what the market wants. That's what the customers want. We've got 100% confidence in what we can offer and provide is going to be beneficial and useful to customers. So we don't want to put the brakes on. We're a very ambitious company anyway. We've demonstrated that in the 4 years. We've moved office 5 times. This will be our 5th new office.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Expansion. We can't fault our ambition, and we've got no interest in just remaining as we are. We want to keep pushing, making a name for ourselves, and being a really attractive place to work.
Yeah, and just to sort of echo what you've just said there, 4 years, 5 office moves you've had. You're obviously very, very ambitious. Where do you see the next sort of 6 months and year for Convergent going?
So the last 12 months, if we're being really honest, has been about the development of our core offerings, which we've divided into 3 main areas, which is IT reselling, hardware, software, our service capabilities, which we've invested a huge amount in both personnel and resource and service desk, and most recently our Navigator division, which encompasses all things cloud, especially cloud telephony at the moment with the current circumstances. Having that now nailed on, structured and in place with a real clear identity of what we sell and who we target is now provided us with that platform to now go and let's tell everyone. We need more people. We need to go and tell everyone of this service we're providing. So I think the groundwork's been there for a long, long time. And I think, ironically, during this period of time, we've now been able to really think about how we're going to accelerate and how we're going to take advantage of all the work we've done and be competitive.
Yeah, and in terms of getting that message out to the market, I love you guys. I think it's been a great story. 3 ambitious guys, 5 office moves, new bigger office, new team, new division in COVID. I don't know if you're crazy or just completely ambitious. I'm not sure which one it is. Where did you see the opportunity now in terms of actually getting that message out more? Because there's going to be resellers out there, I think, who are in panic mode. They're actually in panic mode. They're not getting that message out there. They're not educating their customers. And yet you guys seem to be doing the complete opposite. So how are you trying to get that message out even more to sort of not just your existing customers, but to new customers as well?
Well, I guess we set out when we first began, we wanted to be disruptive because we recognised that the market had some very, very big players in it, and it had lots and lots of smaller players. And the whole reason we started it, and another reseller people said is that we ambitious, believe in ourselves, but ultimately, where's the market going? Looking at what's the next 6 to 12 months lies ahead and bringing that to the customer's attention. We've got no interest in standing still and providing the same old service. We started out with a clear ambition of being flexible, nimble, and quick, where we're not just going to sit here and in a year's time start looking at something like unified communications. We looked at it 12, 18 months ago, and it's the work we did then that now enables that to be relevant today. And we've already got another exciting thing in motion, which we've got planned for just before the end of the year, which will be announced in the next couple of months. So we're always keeping track and looking at where the market's going, and I think you have to. If you don't adopt, if you don't move with the times, if you don't evolve, It's moving too quick. I mean, I see now, I said it on a previous podcast, what used to take 3 years now takes 6 months. So the job is, obviously looking after your customers and acquiring new customers, but ultimately you need to keep going back to the core of why you exist and why you're here as a business. It's to keep up with the rate of change, and it's to advise and act as a trusted advisor to customers, because that's, if you're looking at what a VAR stands for, a value added reseller, getting something next day, of course, that's fine. But putting the value in VAR now means something totally different to 10 years ago. I started out 10 years ago, and it was about getting a laptop quote on the phone. It was whatever it was, and it still is to a degree. But if you fast forward 10 years, it's not about that anymore. It really isn't. I mean, there's such big change, such new technologies out there, and businesses doing it whether with you or without you. And I guess that's the whole key message we've got here is remaining current, given how quickly things change.
Yeah, and with the pace of technology as fast as it is, for someone like yourself and your other team members, how do you keep up with that technology pace and the pace of change to be able to be that trusted advisor, to be able to advise those customers the right technology? Because you said something earlier, you said, right, before it was just getting a laptop down there tomorrow. That's speed, yeah? But actually how to add value to a customer is advise them of the right technologies. But there's so many technologies, there's so many vendors coming out there. How does people at VARs like yourself, and how do your own staff, how do you keep up with technology to be able to advise the customer of the right solution? I wouldn't be able to do it. I haven't got the intellectual horsepower to do it. So how do you do it?
It's exhausting. I mean, I must admit, I can't sit here and say that I know absolutely everything, and we're these superheroes with capes going around telling everyone what's happening tomorrow. We try to, but it's exhausting, I guess, and it goes back to the ambition between myself, Jody, and Pete, that we're not here to sit on our laurels or tick on by and provide the same service. It's exhausting. We spend hours and hours meeting people, meeting vendors, partners, customers, people from different industries, different backgrounds, and we're trying to continuously update what we do, but remaining core to what we do. And I just think it's now an expectation. It used to be if you're a HP Gold partner or a Dell partner or NetApp partner, that's what used to set you aside. But now people expect you to have those accreditations already. So I just think now the VAR world is changing, that you're expected to know what's going on. If you've got a customer and there's 5, 6, 7, 8 resellers trying to get in with that customer, it's your job now in 2020 to understand what's going on. It's your job to keep ahead because you need to keep them ahead. And if you're not, I just see a lot of displacement happening, because I keep going back to the word value. How does a customer now describe value? What does value mean to a customer? It's not being sold something that's going in their life next year. It's not putting them on something that's going to go away or whatever it is. It's about knowing the roadmap. And it sounds obvious, and it really is obvious when you say it out loud. But it's quite powerful when you that's the service you provide and everything else that brings with it.
Yeah, you say it sounds obvious, but no one's doing it. What's interesting is that you're saying that. Someone's like, yeah, it's obvious, but you're right. What is value to a customer? Because half the time, the customer is looking to be advised. I'm an end user customer. I'm not sure what technical capabilities that we need internally, and you do need advice. But the thing is as well is actually trusting someone to be able to give you the advice. Everyone can be sold at and just giving them loads of noise and actually buy this, buy that. But actually, if it's going to not be working this time next year because it doesn't fit your business plans or whatever you're doing, you are just wasting your time. So absolutely valid point. I also heard, obviously, I know you're investing in these graduates and these trainees and developing your own sort of Convergent Academy, if you like.
Yep.
You're also investing in a manager to train these people. So you and Peter and Jody, you're not going to be one of the managers, are you? You're actually going to hire an external manager as well.
Yeah, we're looking at that. Yeah, we're looking at adding a sort of senior figure with the relevant desire, experience, culturally fit. I guess we've not really done that before in terms of recruiting a senior manager so far. It's been very much sort of internal promotions and things like that. But I think if we're going to do the graduate thing with everything we've got, I think we've recognised that from a skill set perspective, we probably do need an extra pair of hands in that environment. And like I say, we're going to start with 4 graduates, I think, between 4 and 6, but we've got aspirations to rapidly accelerate and grow that. So we're going to definitely need some additional layers of management.
Yeah, fantastic. And thirdly, we've already touched on it, and we touched on it on the live show before. You announced obviously your new department, Navigator, and is that something you're going to be leading yourself?
Yeah, that's exclusively been designed and packaged and created by myself. That started around 18 months ago. We recognised through our New York office there was a huge movement in the US around this particular model and trusted advisor model. It exists here in the UK, but again, not many people are aware of it, and it's not something you can wake up tomorrow and decide you're going to do it, because there's 500-600 vendors out there, and you have to build relationships, and you've got to choose the ones that are going to fit your strategic portfolio. You need to build rapport, you need to train, you need to understand the commercials, and you've got to be in a position where you can advise on all of them. So again, it goes back to knowledge and knowing what people are up to. You're almost becoming a mini research house in a way, because you're looking at trends, insights, analytics, and okay, it might not lead to an immediate sale or but this is a more consultative approach, which I think when you blend that with the very nature of an IT reseller, it creates this new sort of powerhouse where you're both reselling, but you're also advising. And I think that's kind of where I see the majority of resellers going. So I think if you can't do one without the other. Maybe you can now, or maybe you can get away with it, but I think the true nature of where the shift is happening is that you're going to need to be able to have the skill set to do both.
Yeah, and and just to summarise, Michael, I love the ambition. For any listeners out there who are actually hearing that a company is not only investing in brand new offices, double the size of what they've got, investing in huge hires and expensive hires and training for those hires and management into that layer, and also as well a brand new division of something that they've been investing in for 18 months. I take my hat off to you three guys for the ambition. Where do you see the next 6 months for the market in general going? And what I mean by that is there seems to be potentially a lot of consolidation in the market. The bigger getting bigger, the smaller getting potentially smaller, unless they're being very, very brave and really investing like you guys. So where do you see the market in general going?
Well, that's a really interesting point, and we've been talking about that a lot over the last 3-4 months about where we want to be. Why do we start Convergent? And again, I go back to the mentality of we can continue as we are, and we can be safe, we can be secure, we can grow sort of as we have been sort of. Or you look at this opportunity. I mean, every crisis brings an opportunity, and it gives you a chance to evaluate what we've achieved so far, what we've been good at, what we've not been so good at, and then put a plan together in place where actually, we're optimistic, we're very ambitious, and we've notified and researched this huge opportunity here in the UK right now, especially for the Navigator division, which encompasses all things cloud telephony, video, connectivity, security, all these elements that every single company that I've spoken to and aware of are facing difficulties with right now. Working from home, working from anywhere, video calls, cloud telephony, security, you name it, that is the top of every single customer's agenda right now. Yes, procurement, yes, software renewals, yes, services, but right now, how are people working? It couldn't be more relevant for Convergent to launch Navigator. The plan was always this year anyway. Like I said, 1.5 years it's taken to build this platform. And it couldn't have come at, I guess, a more convenient time, because the world was on video, but nowhere near like today, right? So where do I see the market going? I see the market adopting a brave new world of working from anywhere. Working from home is not a new slogan, but working from anywhere, whether that is at home, whether that's an office, a coffee shop, a shared office, whatever it is. But managing that aspect is going to be CIO's biggest challenge over the next 6 to 12 months, for sure.
And my last question, Michael, and you are a great person to answer this, because there'll be a lot of graduates out there or new people coming into the market looking for a job with Convergent, would love to come and work for you guys. And you've gone through the scheme yourself. So what would you say? And they'll be worried about the job market themselves. They'll be thinking, actually, during COVID, there's going to be as many opportunities. If they do get the opportunity, and if they got the opportunity with Convergent, and you've done this for yourself, what do you think the 3 things they've got to do to be able to make a name for themselves in the market? Because there's going to be a lot of people thinking, Michael's a young guy, he's been a graduate, he's got to the top of his game now, and he's a director of a company, and they'd love to emulate that. Mm-hmm. What did you do, or what could you actually advise them to do to be able to follow your footsteps?
Yeah, so number one, and there's no denying number one, is attitude. I think there's a lot of people that now you want to walk into a job and you want to achieve what you're going to achieve and get to the top in the first 6 months. Attitude is the most important trait in any sales role, whether it be IT or any other profession. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, when you're doing new business, it is arguably the hardest skill to learn, to master, and to motivate yourself to do. People will do anything other than pick up the phone or do any element of new business.
That's why I'm on video.
it takes 5-6 interactions to get a customer interaction. Most 99% of the people give up after the first 2. the first 2 years, I've been in this industry for 8-9 years now. And the first 2 years, I got put in my place. I had to go through all kinds of hoops. I had to learn my trade. Got told no relentlessly every day. I earned no money. I mean, I'm not selling it very well, but you have to appreciate when you're starting in sales, you can't cut any corners. You have to go through the pain. You have to go through the no commission. You have to go through all these little bits and pieces that then make it, when you do get to the next level, one, you appreciate it. Two, you've worked for it. Three, no one gives you anything in life anyway. But then it's all here for you. It's all here for you. Then it completely changes. And, a Convergent, like a company like Convergent, we're growing. So that creates structure, that creates opportunity, that creates management layers. And then suddenly we've got people here now that are looking at, got their eyes on team leader roles in the next 12 months because you've got graduates coming in. So it's now starting to stack up. So depending on your level of ambition and what you want and the willingness to work hard, attitude is the absolute number one. Number two, it's do you want to work in a fast-paced, changing environment? We mentioned how fast-paced IT is and keeping up to date. Having an active interest in it, you don't necessarily have to know all the technology and understand it from a technical point of view, but you need to have an active interest in a world that's the fastest moving. There's name me a faster moving industry than IT sales at the moment, and the reward for IT sales is significant, but you don't get that, you can't achieve that without putting in the initial work and having an interest. And I guess three is, do you back yourself? And this is something I talk to Convergent when I interview people all the time, because there's so many bigger companies out there, bigger retailers have been around 10, 20, 30 years. They've got their offerings, brilliant companies, very, very successful. Convergent, if you flip that on its head, we're this ambitious, aggressive, optimistic, great bunch. We like to work hard, play hard, but to come here, it's difficult. You've got to back yourself. How much do you back yourself? Whether you're a graduate, whether you're someone that's got a couple of years experience, whether you've got 10 years experience. If you to work hard, the rewards here are probably the best in the market. And I say that with full confidence. On commission, package, opportunity, being part of something, making a difference, not being a number. You can go and work with a sales floor with 250 people. That's great. Or you can work in a sales floor with 15, 20 people, and you're going to be a key. You've got a particular interest in a technology. I started my own division. You can't just do it waking up, but you've got to go out. If you've got an active interest and you want to do something, then do it. We had an opportunity to move to New York 2 years ago because we had a bigger customer out there. And I mean, who do we have to ask? Okay, let's do it. We got to set up an office in New York. It took a bit of time, so we set up an office in New York. We noticed a new trend in technology, so we set up a new division. So if you're optimistic and you don't just want to do a 9-to-5 job and get paid okay, if you back yourself and you want to make a name for yourself in this industry, then there's no better platform, I believe, than myself, Jody, and Pete from Convergent.
Yeah, great. Do you know what, Michael? I've really enjoyed watching your journey from inception 4 years ago and the crazy office moves you've done and almost the crazy stuff you're doing at the moment, the ambition. I've absolutely loved it. I'm really looking forward to watching the next 18 months for you guys. And good luck with it. As I said, I don't know if you're ambitious or crazy or not, but it's going to be a hell of a journey to watch. Anyway, good luck with it. Anyway,
awesome.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us and listening to another episode of our Channel Chat podcast. If you've enjoyed what you've heard and are listening on iTunes, please could you give us a review and subscribe in order to get the newest episodes as soon as they're released. Otherwise, as always, we release an episode every Thursday at midday, so hopefully you can join us then.